Championship at 155 pounds. Michael Chavello, Pat Milicic with you on Access TV. Southpaw.
Yes, the video you are currently watching is in fact real. This is not photoshopped or doctored in any way. This is no CGI footage. This is a real live video of a man who only has one arm, piecing this guy up in the face, taking him to the mat, and choking him out into submission. This man goes by the name Nick Newell, and as you can see, he was born with only one arm. For most ordinary people, a condition like this would hold them back in life and prevent them from pursuing their dreams. But Nick is no ordinary person. Nick decided that he wasn't going to let his condition stop him from doing what he loves, which just so happens to be locking himself inside of a cage and fighting people. Throughout his professional career, Nick has amassed a record of 16 wins and 3 losses. That's right, this man is 16-3. And keep in mind, that's against legit professional fighters, not just random bums like me. Like, if this dude fought me, I can tell you with full confidence that he would fuck me up. Here he is fighting against Justin Gaethje. Yes, you heard that correctly. He really stepped into the cage with that motherfucker. And he did go on to lose this fight, but he landed some pretty good shots and lasted 2 rounds. So I would say he did pretty well for himself considering the fact that he was fighting against Justin fucking Gaethje. The guy who's on a tear in the UFC right now. The guy who did this to Tony Ferguson. The guy who's about to fight Khabib this weekend for the UFC Lightweight Championship of the world. This man is living, breathing proof that your only limitations are the ones you create for yourself in your mind. That no matter what disadvantages you may have, you can still do anything you set your mind to as long as you believe in yourself. I'm surprised they haven't made a movie about this guy yet. Cause there are plenty of stories about people defying the odds, but to fight professionally and win when you only have one arm is a different fucking level. Because the first rule of MMA is to defend yourself at all times. And it's hard enough to do that with 2 hands. So to do so with one is fucking insane. And on top of that, he can only punch with one arm, so his offense is limited as well. I guess the one advantage he does have is he can't get caught in an armbar, so at least he's got that going for him. There's actually a lot of controversy over whether or not Nick should even be allowed to fight. Because MMA is a dangerous sport that can have some serious consequences. I mean, someone could straight up die in there. So a lot of people have mixed feelings about a guy who only has one arm to protect himself fighting at the highest level. Take for example Dana White, who had this to say when asked if he would ever allow Nick to fight in the UFC.
Listen, the kid's talented, he's got a ton of heart. I don't want to see him get hurt. Nobody does. That would be bad for everybody.
And it's not only Dana who thinks that Nick shouldn't fight. Plenty of people, including some of his closest friends and family, have advised him not to do it. They feel as though it's impossible for someone with one arm to compete with the best fighters in the world without getting seriously injured. But what they don't understand is that Nick has removed the word impossible from his vocabulary. He believes that nothing is impossible, and time again he has proved this in the cage. No matter who you are, you can take inspiration from this guy's story. Because even though you may not be exactly like him, you most likely have also faced significant disadvantages in your life. And maybe you've allowed those disadvantages to hold you back. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what most ordinary people do. But if you want to be one of the few legendary people like Nick, you must never allow your disadvantages to stop you from doing what you want in life. So the next time you're feeling self-doubt and thinking that you're not cut out for something, remember Nick Newell. The guy who was born with one arm and went on to become a professional fighter. The guy who proves that you truly can do anything you set your mind to as long as you believe in yourself. A lot of people are under the incorrect assumption that success is due to luck. That you have to be born with a certain amount of mental or physical talent to do great things. They'll say stuff like, "Ah, man, I can't do this. I'm not cut out for this. I'm not good enough." If you tell yourself things like this, like, "Oh, I can't do it," then I got some news for you. You're right. With an attitude like that, you can't. But if you switch up your attitude to actually believe in yourself, I promise you that you can. Just remember our friend Nick. Believing that you can be successful is the first step towards being successful. But so many people don't. They let their own self-doubt get the best of them and give up on their dreams so they can go live a life of mediocrity and comfort. And it's sad, man. I mean, just think about how much potential has been wasted because people didn't believe in themselves. Now, I'm not saying that all you have to do is believe you can be successful and you will magically become successful. okay? You still have to put in the work, right? Like Nick didn't just wake up one morning and say, I'm gonna be a cage fighter, and magically become one. He had to dedicate his entire life to it. But the reason why he dedicated his entire life to it was because he believed he could do it. Like, if he didn't think he could do it, he never would have been motivated enough to spend all that time in the gym. If you don't believe that you can achieve great things, you will never put in the work necessary to achieve them. Cause what's the fucking point of working that hard if you don't think it's gonna amount to anything? There is none. That's why you gotta start believing in yourself. Because then you'll actually want to work hard. Cause you'll have faith that it will all be worth it in the end. Now, it is important to note that the belief you have in yourself must be real. You cannot fake it. Like, there is a huge difference between saying you believe in yourself and actually believing in yourself. If you ever find yourself unable to actually and truly believe in yourself, what you have to do is throw all rational thoughts out the window. I know that sounds kind of stupid, but just stick with me for a second. Every great achievement in human history stemmed from an idea that at first seemed impossible to the rational thinking mind. For example, before the 1900s, flying through the air seemed like something that only birds could do. But then the Wright brothers came along. I'm sure that their rational thinking minds constantly reminded them of how terrible an idea it was to try and fly a car into the air. But because they ignored this and kept faith in the fact that they could pull off what seemed impossible to the rational thinking mind, they were able to change the world forever. Nick Newell did the same thing. He had to ignore the rational thought that fighting MMA with one arm is a stupidly dangerous idea. The problem with your rational thinking mind is that it will always give you reasons as to why all your dreams and aspirations are impossible to achieve. And most of the time, they will be some pretty good reasons. Like, really. The Wright brothers had every reason to believe that they couldn't fly through the air. Just like Nick Newell had every reason to believe that he couldn't fight professionally. But despite this, they all still believed that they could do those things. And if you want to make your dreams a reality, you gotta do the same. You gotta forget about being rational and just faithfully believe in yourself, even if there is no logical reason for you to do so. Also, why not believe in yourself? Because even if your dreams never do come true, it's way better to believe that they will one day than to just accept that they won't, because that's just depressing. So no matter how much the odds are stacked against you, or how many times you fail, always believe in yourself. Because why the fuck not? Anyways though, if you guys are looking for some extra inspiration, Nick Newell is fighting on October 29th, which is actually next Thursday, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot, so I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope you all have a great day. Peace.